How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Falcons Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on The Monkey. Now, this is a 2025 comedy horror film, and this is the latest film from director Osgood Perkins, the man behind Longlegs, which I had a blast of that movie last year. And so he has come to make a new type of horror film, which is this film, but this one is a comedy horror film, and this is based off one of Stephen King's short stories, and this is also from producer James Wan. And in this film, when twin brothers, who are played by Theo James, discover a mysterious wind-up monkey, a series of outrageous deaths tear their family apart, and 25 years later, this monkey starts off a new killing spree, and it forces the estranged siblings to confront this cursed toy. So that's pretty much the story of The Monkey. Now, this was one of my most anticipated movies for February this year because I was really excited to see what director Osgood Perkins was going to be doing behind the camera for this new horror film he was crafting here. Because this one's completely different from his last film he directed, which was, of course, Longlegs, which that film really surprised me because I had a genuine blast with that movie. And like I said, this one is pretty different from Longlegs because Longlegs was like a serious psychological horror thriller, whilst this one tends to go on the fun route where it tends to be a horror comedy. And like I said, this is based off one of Stephen King's short stories, which really got me more intrigued to check out this movie. And this is from producer James Wan, who's known for making a few horror films out of his name, with movies like The Conjuring, as well as Insidious, and the first Saw film, as well as a few other things he's made in recent years in terms of horror films. And it is safe to say that after checking out this movie here, I'm really happy to say that Oscar Perkins, thankfully, did not disappoint me here with this new movie he's crafted here as a director, because I had a lot of fun with The Monkey. The overall filmmaking from Oscar Perkins himself is just top tier once again, just like what he did with Longlegs last year, because his directing talent for that film was just incredible. And he does that once again here within this movie, The Monkey, from his overall directing style, the visual style, and the cinematography, which I thought all of that was well grounded for this movie. And when it comes to the deaths themselves, they are extremely gruesome, but yeah, they are really over the top. And Oscar Perkins managed to nail the combination he was able to add in for those moments that we do see that occurs within the movie, for the way that people die in this film, because they die instantly in horrific ways, but they do come off as really entertaining. Like, I just couldn't stop laughing my ass off when it came to these creative deaths that we do see within this movie. However, there are often times where the film does have a few other comedy aspects outside of the horror aspects within this movie, and there were times when it does tend to feel a little bit cliched at times when it comes to some of that within this movie. But when it comes to the performances themselves, Theo James, he plays these twin brothers that we do follow within the movie. He was really good for his performance, as well as even Christian Convery, who plays the younger version of these twin brothers who we do see in the film. He was really good as well. And everyone else, for the most part, they were all really solid, and yet they were really fun for their performances for this movie. And the overall concept for this film is pretty creative, and yet it is really fun, where it tends to have essence to Final Destination, while it tends to be in a fun way, because, you know, Final Destination is known for having some really gruesome deaths, and this film does have that here, but it tends to be over the top and just pretty silly. And the film does have a message here, which I thought was well replicated and, yeah, well played off, where it deals with death. And it plays out really well for some of the serious moments that goes on within this movie. And the movie also manages to handle us on some of the comedy aspects, like I said, really well here, mostly due to the overall brutal, like, gruesome deaths, but being played off in a silly way due to its overall silly premise about a killer toy that makes people die in pretty gruesome ways, in so many different ways that you never even get to see, they never ever expect to see. And there's like one theme in the film that the film tends to showcase here, and I kind of felt was pretty familiar to like other films, where it deals with the relationship between Hal and his son and his twin brother. And there are often times in this movie that I was like, yeah, it is kind of pretty familiar to those types of films I've already seen before in the past. But in the end, guys, The Monkey thankfully did not disappoint me here, and I'm really happy that Oscar Perkins managed to make me very happy after seeing this whole thing here, because I genuinely had a really fun time with this one, and after seeing this whole thing, I definitely went bloody bananas after seeing this whole thing here from beginning to end. I'm going to give The Monkey 4 out of 5. Definitely had a lot of fun with this new horror film to come out for this year, and I cannot wait to see what Oscar Perkins does next for the horror genre, because I definitely think he's definitely become one of my favorite horror directors that's working today here. And he's actually got a new film coming out very soon, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to be doing next for the horror genre very soon. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my AK After I Saw review on The Monkey. And I'd like to know what you guys think of this movie, if you've already seen this movie or if you just recently checked this one out. And as always, this has been Falcons Media Corner signing off.